Namaskar. Knowledge of mathematics and its connection to discovery of India. The Europeans always knew where India is. India was very popular as Sone ki Chidiya and also the home of spices. And all the trade from India to Europe was through the Middle East, and it was controlled by the Middle East people. The trade, spice trade, was so profitable that at places the paper, black pepper, used to sell for 60,000 times more price than the purchase price. 60,000 times. In London market, you could exchange a bag of paper for a bag of gold. That lucrative was the trade. And the Europeans, especially the Portuguese and the Spanish, in those days were great seafarers. In the Mediterranean Sea, they were kings. And they knew where India was on the map because they were trading through the Middle East, through the land route. And they were desperately in need to find a sea route to India. How desperate? They started in the year 1000 or even earlier maybe. And they continued with royal patronage to try and find a sea route to India. The trade was that crucial. But for the next 400 years, though they tried, they couldn't make a breakthrough. 400 years. So many ships lost, so many sailors lost, so many people going bankrupt. But sea route to India was still eluding them. In 1317, the king of Spain, he sponsored Michael Pesana to find India specifically. After that, there was Christopher Columbus, who wanted to reach India from the other side, that is going westwards and coming out eastward. He failed. Then there was Ferdinand Magellan, who tried for India but reached Indonesia. There was Jose Luisa, who tried for India but reached Philippines. There was Pedro Alvarez Cabral, who set out for India based on the map given by Vasco da Gama and reached Brazil. And it was only 1498 Vasco da Gama was able to find the sea route to India after turning from the Cape of Good Hope. Why was it so difficult? Yes, and how does mathematics apply to this situation? What role did mathematics play? Let us see. For navigating in the sea, you require 5 things. These are, one is the map of the sea, at least approximate, the landmarks, then knowledge of winds and currents, because in those days the ships were largely based on wind energy. Then instruments like sextant, quadrant, compass, these were available. Knowledge of longitude, latitude, and most of all, to put all these 4 things together, knowledge of spherical geometry, or how to convert the data that you would get from all these 4, the map of the sea, winds and currents, the instruments, readings of the instruments, and knowledge of latitude, longitude, how to bring all of it together and chart a route on paper and then follow it by the sea was the biggest challenge. And interestingly here, accurate calculations were necessary, which they were not able to do because their knowledge of mathematics or especially spherical geometry was very limited. And that is why, as I said, even with the map given by Vasco da Gama, Pedro Alvarez Cabral set out for India and reached Brazil. That much was the difficulty. In open sea, even if there is a half a degree difference in the direction that you have set, you will reach into the open sea and you may never be able to come back to land. As we know now, and they also had an idea at that time, there was a huge expanse of sea down south. The sea was never ending. And if you are in the sea and if your supplies run out, you have no way but to die. And this was the reason that for 400 years, Europeans were not able to reach India. They knew where India is or India was, but they could not find a sea route. And that is where Vasco da Gama comes in. What Vasco da Gama did was he traveled keeping near to the coastline up to Cape of Good Hope. Why next to the coastline? Because coastline gives you landmarks as to where you are. In the sea, knowing where you are is most important. Only then you can chart your route. So keeping the landmarks, remaining near to the coastline, he reached Cape of Good Hope. And from there, if you see the map, you can go via Africa, via the Middle East, in the Arabian Sea, and then come to Karachi or come to the Indian coast. But this was not the route that was favorable to the Europeans, because the Arabian Sea largely was ruled by the Middle Eastern people. And they were not very happy to see Europeans go to India. So what Vasco da Gama did is, at the Cape of Good Hope and then later in Mombasa, he engaged an expert Arab navigator. Also, he got help from an Indian merchant who was regularly going to Africa and doing trade with Africa. He told Vasco da Gama that he was quite confident, because he had traveled on that route many times, that he could guide along with the navigator Vasco da Gama by the open sea route to Calicut or somewhere nearby on the Kerala coast. And depending on their guidance, depending on their navigation, Vasco da Gama was able to land at Calicut in 1498. Then he made the map of the sea route that he had taken. He distributed it back home, and other people also started coming in. But as I said, even when the map was there, so many people lost their way, so many people lost their lives, because mathematical direction was still not good enough. It was only after the advent of Newton and some other scientists and the calculus that these calculations became strong enough, or the knowledge becomes strong enough to utilize them and to navigate or to chart your route. So this is the essence of how knowledge of mathematics worked in terms of discovery of India. And one last information, most of the knowledge of mathematics that we see today coming from Europeans or Arabs, so-called, it is all gone from India. The the Roman numerals that we use today, the Roman numbers, are actually Indian numbers. From India, they went to the Middle East, and then Middle East, it went to Europe. And this is why even the meaning of alphabet, even the meaning of numbers have got Vedic or Indian connotations. So that was the beauty of mathematics that we had, which we gave to the world. That is ancient wisdom. Namaskar.